Hello, friends. I just got a quick update here from today's trial proceedings. So to start out, I guess the motions to release the identities of all the rest of the 13 government informants, that was denied, which is ridiculous. Then some of the most important developments for the day, I would say Agent Jones taking the stand and claiming that Duane Schrack never told him that he didn't want to have a discussion with him. And shortly after that, I ran into Duane, and he pulled up his text messages from 2 different conversations prior to the discussion that was brought up in the courtroom. So Jones clearly lied under oath. And then he was asked about, Jones asked him about the guns, of course, and Duane said that he had only seen 2 pistols while he was visiting the refuge. So Jones apparently asked him 2 other times throughout their conversation how many guns he witnessed there. And he mentioned that, there was this one meeting I had with Ammon at the headquarters where a guy walked in with a rifle. And so there you have 3 guns he witnessed protesters carrying at the refuge. And the prosecution, as well as Jones, made a big deal out of it, as if 3 guns out of 1,000 plus protesters was a lot. It turns out that after being questioned by, I think, Mumford, about whether or not Jones was ordered to investigate Duane Schrack after the FBI had learned that he was a witness for the defense. And the answer was that the prosecution actually made the order. So it seems like witness tampering to me. Just strange how they can get away with something like that. And Mumford brought up a good point that Agent Jones, while he was writing his report from his conversation with Duane, left out his partner. But he mentioned that he discussed the notes he was taking and kind of compared and contrasted them with his fellow agent's memory. Although he stated that, when I take notes, it's pretty much word for word about what I had discussed with whoever. So I can't really think of anything else about Agent Jones at the moment that's a huge breakthrough or anything like that. So then going to the deputy. Can't remember which deputy it was. Whoever the deputy was that took the stand after, I think it was right after Agent Jones. There was a lot of objections coming from the prosecution, so the defense was not able to really question him very much. But they're definitely, they have no records of their communications on that day. They were not communicating through the radio. They were communicating through their cell phones. And so I think Mumford was trying to make the point that there should be a record, and we should have the record. They're public officials. How can Les Zeitz be harassing Sheriff Glenn Palmer over this, and yet there's no record of these cell phone conversations that were going on between Sheriff Ward and his deputies? That's crazy. And he was very shifty in his answers. It took Mumford a long time, many questions, to get him to admit that at 12:45, when he left his position at the corner of Greenhouse and Highway 205, which is on the way to the refuge, he had advanced to a position that was closer to the refuge. But we cannot discuss any of the communications going on between him and Sheriff Ward or any of the other deputies. Anything else from that? We really weren't able to go very far into that cross-examination. And then John Killman. Yeah, he is a Fed. And this whole trial should be dismissed, absolutely be dismissed, because John Killman, he showed up on the 23rd, stayed until the 26th. He was there every day, and he was instigating aggression and what you could consider intimidation. The only intimidation I could ever think of coming from the refuge was John Killman. And you know, I participated in one of his training sessions, and I'm a pretty mellow guy. I'm a nice guy, you know, and he was harassing me. He was screaming at me for being too soft. And so he was doing things like jamming the barrels of our guns like into our neck, basically teaching us how to arrest people. He taught us how to throw a spike strip out, how to pull people out of vehicles, and all of this is caught on camera too, and this is used against us by the prosecution. A lot of photos and videos were admitted to the evidence, the discovery, and a informant cannot conspire with the supposed conspirators who committed this crime of impeding a federal officer from fulfilling their duties. That requires a dismissal of the case, so the case should be dismissed. But yet that didn't happen so far. Maybe that will happen tomorrow. We'll see. John Killman made threats before he took the stand, saying that, just so you know, my testimony is going to be damaging to you, so you really don't want to call me up. And we called his bluff and put him up there on the stand, and he stated that he wasn't really paid, but he was reimbursed for his costs from the time he left his prior location to head to the refuge to when he got there. And he said he was reimbursed for something that happened to his car. Sounds like he got a new truck, and he really worded it pretty nice for himself and for the government's case. Because he said his truck broke down, and I'm pretty sure I saw him driving a brand new truck, brand spanking new. And then he said he got a bulletproof vest on his way, and some other reimbursements. I'd really like to know how much these reimbursements totaled. And let's see what else. He said he was there to teach us firearm safety and some other sort of training. Clearly he was there trying to provoke us and to make us look like we were threatening federal officers. So there you go. I mean, case dismissed. It has to be. But we'll see if Judge Anna Brown makes a appropriate decision in this matter. I think she's going to let it go all the way to through jury deliberation. Another thing to well, those are the biggest points that I can think of so far. There are four alternate jurors that are so interested in the trial that they want to. They ask for a special room and a microphone to be placed in the jury, the area where they're deliberating, and to be able to listen into that. I thought that was pretty cool, because Judge Anna Brown said that was the first time she ever had that request. I don't know if I got to Grasty yet. So Judge Grasty, yeah, oh man, what a sleazeball. He apparently purchased 20 acres from the BLM. His brother works for the BLM. I believe he's some sort of BLM agent, probably armed. Mumford asked him, I believe it was Mumford, if he remembered a certain deputy, I think his name is Needham, if he remembered him during the cows meeting held in joint effort with Citizens for Constitutional Freedom, and Grasty responded that he didn't know who Citizens for Constitutional Freedom is or anything about us. And then he stated, I think it was before this, that before this, he stated that he did not remember the deputy after being asked by Michelle Fiore whether or not he heard the deputy state that the protesters, us protesters over at the refuge, had broken a law, and he said no, we had not broke a law that whole time, which earlier on, when Grasty was being questioned about denying our meeting that we tried to put together at the fairgrounds, in conjunction with the Committee of Safety, that for one reason was because we had already committed crimes at the refuge. 2, we didn't fill out the paperwork appropriately, and 3, we didn't have insurance. And so one of the Mumford's questions were, so do you usually, I think it was Schindler, do you usually seek counsel for a decision like this? And of course, no. Why would you do that? But they did. Grasty and his minions sought counsel before turning down our meeting that we had proposed. And even while I was there at the refuge, we were purposefully secluded from their meetings that they were holding. And they sent out messages only to basically the Grasty and Ward's friends and the rest of the public officials there who are guilty in this conspiracy. And that at the moment, that's really all I can think of. It's been a lot of corruption ongoing during these proceedings, and I definitely was impressed with Anna J. Brown during Grasty's cross-examination by the defense. She did make him answer some uncomfortable questions, and I'm very thankful of that. One of those being by Shauna Cox, whether or not he had ever purchased over 20 acres of BLM land. And he tried to weasel his way out of that one, but he didn't. Sorry. All right, friends. I gotta get back to paying attention here. I have to go pick up some things back home. I love you guys. Bye.